Just kept saying, I'm gonna kill that MF, I'm gonna kill that MF, you know, while he was chasing him across the field. I'm gonna kill his, you know. It was just horrible.
We need an ambulance and we need the police. Has anybody been hurt? Yeah, 2 people shot. 2 people shot. We have 2 people shot in the stomach and in the chest.
At the murder scene of Girard Falls, police investigators recovered 9 shell casings that would later be matched by examiners to a .45 caliber Glock purchased by Kathy Anderson. Anderson wasn't the shooter that April day, however. The killer was the person she bought the Glock for at the Rialco gun store in Maryland. The killer was her then boyfriend, convicted felon, Eric Dixon. Dixon is seen here on the right being questioned by police detectives about the shootings. He was arrested in Virginia earlier this day.
So you saying I killed my sister and her boyfriend?
No, I'm not saying that.
You just said that.
No, I said you shot your sister and you killed her boyfriend.
Oh, shot my sister, killed her boyfriend.
Yep.
And how did I kill him, assuming, how?
You know you were there. I don't need to answer that.
Dixon's case is a classic straw buy, and it's one of the main ways criminals get guns, according to an ATF study of gun trafficking investigations. In layman's terms, a straw buy occurs when a person buys a gun for someone who is ineligible to own one. As a former violent offender, Dixon by law could never have purchased a gun. Whether he wanted the gun for self-defense, or committing a crime, or for other reasons is unknown. He declined to be interviewed for this story. What is fact is that after leaving a baby shower, Dixon got into an argument with his sister Lakeisha and her boyfriend Girard Falls. Dixon lost his temper and ended up shooting his sister in the leg and chasing Falls through the parking lot before gunning him down in the nearby park. Police never recovered Dixon's gun, but they had several eyewitnesses, including Girard's sister, Jerisha, who was 8 months pregnant at the time.
Like right after it happened, which was April, in August, I moved to Laurel. And right off my balcony was like a field. Every time I looked at the field, I would cry. Because I could just imagine my brother sitting there doing this. But Eric stand over top of him and shoot him. He just shot him in front of everybody like it was nothing. Like it was nothing. How do you do that to somebody?
The day Dixon decided to get his gun, he took Anderson to this Maryland dealer near the DC border. According to police records, there were several red flags that Anderson was a possible straw buyer. Inside Rialco, Dixon accompanied Anderson and instructed her on what gun to buy. Another possible tip-off was the type of gun Anderson selected, a .45 caliber Glock, a big gun for a woman who is 5'2". When police searched Dixon's room at his mother's house after the murder, they found evidence that Dixon had possession of the gun, not Anderson, a case for the .45 caliber Glock, a holster, a gun lock, and bullets were scattered on Dixon's bed and floor. Anti-gun activists believe Rialco turns a blind eye to straw buyers, which Rialco's owners flatly deny. Jesse Jackson and the Brady campaign staged a protest outside the store in 2007. They cited an ATF report that showed that the store had a disproportionate number of guns recovered at crime scenes in Maryland and DC.
I mean, we're out here today because, quite frankly, we have had enough of illegal guns in our community and on our streets. Yes. And let me tell you something right off the bat. You came to the right place, because this gun store, far and away, leading the race in contributing crime guns to this community, to the District of Columbia and surrounding areas. There is no one who is even a close second.
Since 1992, Rialco has sold over 2,500 guns that were later seized by police in criminal matters, according to a post-analysis of police evidence logs and gun sales records in Maryland. 86 guns were linked in records to homicides, and another 300 are associated with other shootings, assaults, and robberies. Rialco's numbers are also eye-popping compared to other area dealers. It had 4 times as many guns seized by police as Maryland's small arms range, the store with the next largest number of gun traces.
The Second Amendment has absolutely nothing to do with cracking down on illegal gun trafficking. And if the gun lobby wants to repeatedly talk about law-abiding gun owners, responsible gun use, then really at the forefront of that should be gun dealers selling their products responsibly.
Rialco owner Carlos de Real would not comment for this story, but at the time of the 2007 protest, his brother Greg said that the store steadfastly obeys all laws governing gun sales. A review of state and regulatory gun sales records found no major violations. So what can law enforcement do to stop criminals from acquiring guns? It depends who you ask.
I think the only way you're gonna fight, you're gonna stop gun violence is if everybody owns a gun. Do you think as many of us as there was at that baby shower, if somebody would have had a gun, do you think Eric Dixon would have lived?
At the nation's gun show just outside of Washington, D.C., we caught up with Stephen Halbrook, a lawyer who represents the NRA.
If you're talking about criminals who misuse guns, the best solution is to lock them up a long time and not let them out.
Halbrook also says law enforcement should not waste their limited resources on going after gun owners or licensed sellers for what he refers to as technical violations, such as errors in record keeping.
If we have police forces focusing on gun crimes, they need to be focusing on not technical violations, but on actual criminals, the kind of people who commit murder, rape, robbery, all kinds of misuse of guns is where the focus should be.
Life without parole plus life is the stiffest sentence I can recall coming out of this courthouse during my tenure.
Maryland State's Attorney Glenn Ivey supports stiffer sentencing, as well as increased police presence and continued monitoring of stores like Rialco as ways to deter gun violence. But he says that these measures alone will not stop the violence completely. In light of a recent Supreme Court decision reversing the gun ban in D.C., the ultimate answer, he muses, is perhaps more basic.
It's clear to me that even if Rialco shut down tomorrow, we wouldn't have homicides dropped to 0 here in Prince George's or the district. At some point, we're going to have to get into these households, get into these families, get with these young guys, person to person, and start turning lives around. It's got to be, there's no shortcut for this, and we've been looking for it for a couple decades now, but this is going to have to happen.
All right, do me a favor, stand up, man, face the wall. Bring your hands back behind your back, bro. Kick your feet out to the side, too. Spread them out, man. More. More. That's good.